By introducing our guest speakers today. Derek Cullen is a CIO.D and is the Chief Information Officer with Stikeman Elliott and the CIOCAN Leadership Director. And Derek will share more information about his presentation as we go on, and the designation and the qualifications that are needed to receive the CIO.D. We also have John Oesch with us, an associate professor of the teaching stream with the Rotman School of Management, and he will be providing course details as well as session outlines for the program. And last but not least, we have Ronald Rodriguez, a CIO.D and Chief Information Officer, Freedom of Information and Privacy with the Durham Catholic District School Board, and CIO.D graduate from our first cohort. And Ron is going to provide some insights into his experiences and the benefits of taking this program. After the presentation, we have set aside some time for your questions. And I think, Derek, that's over to you.
That was fast. Thank you, Lorraine. And thank you, everyone. Good afternoon and good morning. I think probably the most important part of this session will be the Q&A at the end. We always find that there's some great questions and we have hopefully all the right answers for you. So are we presenting the deck, Connor? So I'm going to jump into why earn the CIO designation. So about 2 years ago, the CIO Association of Canada, which by the way is over 600 paid members strong, 9 chapters across the country, and probably really the only association of its kind for senior IT leaders and CIOs. We reached out to Rotman's and we've formed a very unique partnership and put together what you're here to find out about, which is the CIO.D and the Executive Leadership Program delivered by Rotman's in partnership with us. So it's been a super exciting journey that began almost 2 years ago. We have put very near 100 students through our program that have obtained the designation, and Ronald being one of them, and he'll talk about that soon. Now, why do this? Aside from it being the only designation of its kind, you have access to over 600 members of the CIO Association. So it's a great collaborative, forum for all IT leaders to share amazing topics and have sounding boards and excellent discussions around things like AI and everything else you're dealing with as IT leaders. We run premium events at the national level and throughout our 9 chapters, across the country. Again, information sharing and bringing together executives to talk about the latest and greatest trends and technology challenges. And I guess sort of lastly, this program is aimed at not only CIOs and them obtaining the recognition they deserve in terms of a designation showing they have a seat at the table, but also aspiring CIOs and senior leaders who want to get that credential to prove in that next move that they are ready to make that jump and they've qualified and obtained this designation. So who would qualify for this? I've already mentioned that CIOs or C-level IT executives, as well as aspiring CIOs like directors and VPs of technology in various verticals would qualify. You need at least 3 years of senior IT leadership experience. And again, this could be CTOs, CXOs, chief innovation officers, and so on, but the designation is really a CIO.D branded designation. How do we maintain the CIO.D? I guess I should talk a little bit about how you obtain it before we jump into how do we maintain it. So to obtain it, you take the Rotman's program, which John will go into. At the end of that, you complete an exam proctored by CIOCAN and Rotman's themselves. And then you obviously have to be a member in good standing of the CIO Association of Canada. So then how do you maintain it? Like any good designation, whether it be a CPA or anything else, we want to make sure you're continuing to educate yourself, attending senior leadership forums, conferences, learning sessions, and so on. So we ask that everyone try and obtain at least 90 hours of senior IT leadership uplift or retraining over a 3-year period to maintain the designation. So I think it's, I don't know if there's another slide around this. no, not before you jump into John, but I think you're here because you've heard how this designation and this Rotman's program is bubbling. The community itself is a little bit on fire right now. Everyone's very excited. And I think there's also a bit of a community within the community because 100 of the 600 CIO Association members are now CIO designates. And, we've started to break out and also have, a bit of I'll call it a clique and a corporate network ourselves and share technology learnings and best practices and templates. And I really think that this is jumping off and becoming a big thing. And I think you're getting in year 2, cohort 3. So this will be cohort 4 of this amazing initiative between Rotman's and CIO Association. So I really appreciate more than 30 of you attending and learning more about this designation and this program. Maybe I'll throw it over to you, John.
All right, thank you very much, Derek. Greetings, everyone, from the Rotman School. My name is John Oesch, and my official role in this program, the title is Academic Director. And as director, the easiest way to be a good academic director is to make sure you have fantastic instructors. So I've managed to do that. We have managed to do that. Not just me, but in conjunction with the folks at CIO Canada to make sure that we have lots of good people, the best people to teach you the things that we have. We've curated this to make sure that we cover everything, and we continually do small updates to make sure that we're staying current. So you can see we have online sessions, 10 of them. So this happens over 5 weeks as we go Mondays and Fridays. And we start after Thanksgiving. We start after Labor Day. The sessions go, as I mentioned, Monday to Friday. They're in the afternoons in the Eastern time zone. So for those of you who are in Calgary, maybe Vancouver, it'll be mid-morning, late morning for you. And what we do is there's lots of information about information technology management, but what we at the Rotman School can add and where we add value is we also make sure we cover leadership, IT strategy. We talk about digital transformation, again, from a leadership standpoint, from a strategic standpoint. And, we've brought in some really good people to talk about executive presence, for example, and finance. And then we also have some CIO Canada professionals delivering some topics. Derek will talk about executing a plan and making sure you're getting things done. And CIOCA will be here to talk about vendor management and contracts and those sorts of things. So there are the titles, as you can see. It's a blend between developing yourself as a leader and making sure that leadership is focused on the IT world, and you're part of the IT world. We'll be highlighting some things, the governance part, we'll be highlighting that. Derek is going to bring in a little bit about AI later on in the program as well. And you can see we've got cybersecurity in there too. So the combination of leadership and IT focus is, I think, what makes this program unique. Just one more thing that I'd like to add. You do write an exam afterwards. As you saw on the previous slide, there's a study period in October, and we have made up some exam questions, but it's CIO Canada that curates that. The Rotman School will not be examining you in any way other than, making sure you've got all the information that you need. But CIO Canada is they're the people that manage that exam. Final thing, at the Rotman School, we have several executive leadership programs. We've got one that's for young and up-and-coming leaders. And that one's online as well. We have this one. We have others. This program will move you a step toward getting what's known as the Rotman Executive Leadership Certificate, and from a menu of programs that you can design this with one of our associates. We have a couple of program associates who help people pick and choose what's best for them. You can pick out the 2 or 3 programs that would add up to your own Rotman Executive Leadership Certificate. And that is proving to be something that's very attractive to people as well. It sends a signal to anybody out there that you are serious about continuous learning and trying to get the latest and greatest that we provide here at the Rotman School. So that's my overview. I look forward to being with those of you that do join our program. And I really look forward to hearing from Ronald and what he's got to say. I'll turn it over to you, Ronald.
Thanks, John. Maybe just do a quick introduction. Ronald, I guess we didn't introduce you at the start. Do you want to say hello and introduce yourself quick?
Yes, thank you, Derek, and thanks everyone for being here. I am the Chief Information Officer for Durham Catholic District School Board. I have been here for 14 years as the CIO. Prior to that, I have been a CTO since 2000. So for 11 years, I was a Chief Technology Officer. For the last 14 years, a CIO. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you, Ronald, and a proud graduate of cohort number 1. So you're one of the originals.
Very proud.
Excellent. Thank you for being with us today. So I've got 4 questions for you that I think will prime everyone for any questions they may have. But maybe you could tell me a little bit about the modules, the Rotman and CIOCAN modules and the curriculum, and how you found that valuable to an IT executive like yourself.
Yeah, honestly, when I first saw the invitation, the announcement on CIO Canada, as I have been a CIO member for many years, I think honestly, I think I was the first one who registered. I jumped in right away, and I say I would love to get the CIO.D designation, even though I have been a CIO or CTO for many years. I always think that about learning, and I approach this program with, I will have to say, with high expectations. I can say with confidence that the program deliver. My expectations was to learn something, as you know, I'm always looking to learn something new, and the program provided that. The curriculum was thoughtfully designed and relevant, with strong emphasis on real world applications. Like we digest real cases, and we explore case studies and engage deep learning in discussions with peers, such as OPEX, CAPEX, leadership, governance, diversity, equity, and inclusion. So just to name a few, it was the learning, I think, that happened was not just from professors like John, for example. It was also from attendees, because there were attendees from all over Canada in different industries, and it's something that you learn from other people as well, and I think the modules were amazing. Yes.
Thank you, Ronald. That's a great segue. So you talked about the immersive learning with your peers and the information sharing. So maybe tell me how, I know you've been at the CIO Association for a while, but tell me how you feel about the CIO.D community itself and how the value there.
Yeah. I feel now that the CIO.D community has been one of the most valuable aspects of the program. I believe them, now like an elite members, I would say. We share a WhatsApp group. We share a LinkedIn group, a dedicated LinkedIn group. If I have questions, or if I learn something, I can drop it on the WhatsApp group, a question, and someone will answer, right? So I'm now talking with peers, with CIO.D peers, and we are creating a closed CIO community. I do have regular meetings with CIOs of 72 school boards in Ontario, but it's always great to know what other industries are doing, what other industries, how they are approaching cybersecurity, for example, AI, and then I can bring that knowledge into the K-12 industry. So moving forward, I see that this community is a powerful professional network, and it is not about just who you know, but also connecting with people that you can trust and that you have worked with and you have met throughout all the modules and weeks spending with them.
That's great feedback. I feel the exact same way, Ronald. Maybe in the interest of time, I'll combine 2 questions. The last 2 questions into one question. How do you feel about the added credibility as a CIO that you received from this designation? And have there been any immediate benefits, although it hasn't been that long for you. It's been a year and a half. Have you seen any
Yeah.
benefits? Do you feel like it adds some credibility to your profile?
Absolutely. Even though that I've been a CIO for many years, this program is not just for CIOs. It's for, you mentioned it at the beginning, it's for a lot of, people who would like to become a chief information officer, perhaps, and it has added a lot of credibility, I would say. It represents both the recognition that I an experience that I have, but also the commitment to continue growing personally. So the CIO.D also adds to that, to my continued professional growth. And I feel very strong sense of pride and accomplishment in achieving this. I am not actively seeking for a new role, I have to say, but I believe the designation as well will carry real weight in future career movement. I feel proud of it. Probably when I announced it that I was the CIO.D in my LinkedIn profile, I got, close to 1,000 likes. And then when I meet people in different meetings, everyone asks me about it. Everyone say, hey, tell me about the CIO.D. How can I take it myself? Can I join? And I say, yeah, absolutely. And I feel that I became an ambassador now of CIO.D, passing the word to other people because I had a great experience. And I believe all of you, everyone should have the same experience. It's a great program, and the modules are, amazing. So, yeah.
Wow,
Thank
that
you.
is stellar feedback, Ronald. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you being here and answering those questions. And we didn't coach Ronald at all. Honest to God, it's just stellar.
This
So
is just me.
And just to touch on the community, I said there's about 100 of us who've gone through the program so far, and CIO Association also runs an annual conference called the Peer Forum, which this May was in Ottawa. And we were astonished that out of the 100 graduates, that 100 of the graduates, 30 of the graduates actually came to our Ottawa Peer Forum. So that was just an added value for all of us. And it was really great to see 30 graduates from 3 different cohorts get together and meet each other as part of that community. So it's really an amazing thing to see how this is all playing out. And maybe with that being said, Ronald, we'll just move on to some Q&A. I've answered one question in the chat. Does anyone have any questions for John or myself or Ronald about this program, this designation, about the CIO Association as a whole?
Derek, could you maybe expound a little bit upon the answer you put in the chat? Because
Sure.
there might be a little more context there.
Sure. So like any good designation, there is a continuing professional education portal that we have built. And you would go in there over a 3-year certification period and enter your continuing education credits. 90 credits is 90 hours. You can do them half an hour at a time. So if you're attending any CIO-CAN event, and they're all pretty much senior leadership related, that would qualify. If you're attending, something out there like a Gartner event on cyber leadership, any sort of leadership webinar you might attend would qualify. Authoring white papers would qualify. Authoring books would qualify. Attending conferences would qualify. So anything that's in your learning plan as an IT leader will qualify for CPE credits, John. Don't be shy, everyone. Do we have any questions about this? Just knock it out of the park and answer all the questions up front. I see Thomas, you have a question.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if you already have a fairly full schedule, how much time is going to be needed other than the class time for studying, et cetera? Or is it mostly if you attend the classes and take part and are fairly engaged that you'll be up to speed pretty quick?
I'm going to let Ronald help me with that answer. I'll start with my answer.
Honestly, I have
Yeah.
a very busy schedule, and
Yeah.
I had the same reservations about how much study I had to do. But honestly, I spend more time watching Survivor than studying. You know, they give you
Yeah.
some material to read, very good reading material, as well as not boring stuff. I would say a couple hours per week, maybe, that you will spend at night, or or on a weekend reading something, pre-reading. It's good to pre-read, because you might have questions about it, or they will ask you comments about it, or so it's good to do the pre-reading, but it's not crazy. 99% of it, I think, is within the time frame that the modules. Yeah.
And from an exam perspective, when it comes time to study, if you've done all of the pre-reading, ahead of the modules, and then you take the modules, which are very immersive, right? The way we structured it is, like, as a senior IT leader, you have to be a senior IT leader to take this course. As a senior IT leader, you should be able to answer 50% of the questions just by virtue of what you do every day for a living. And then to get from 50 to the required passing mark is paying attention during the modules. I'm really just participating. So I would call it an overview of material more so than studying.
An overview, yeah, that's a good way. And pay attention to when John is talking, when
Yes.
the professors
John.
are talking. Just, I know it's hard. You have a second laptop, maybe sending emails or whatever. Forget about that. Dedicate the time to the sessions, and you will do amazing. And the exam is not that crazy as well. So, yeah. If I pass it, Thomas, anyone can pass it.
Chris
All right, thank
Gillespie had
you.
a question.
This might be a John question to tackle in combination with me from Pierre. But I think certainly we're able to make accommodations to make sure you're able to write the exam. We have
an accommodations officer here in exec programs, and we'll make sure. Yeah, because we do proctor the exam, but we don't set it. Derek and his crew set it.
Yes, so certainly we ask people that they do not have external monitors set up, but we can make an accommodation in that scenario, Pierre.
Yeah. Did you see Chris's question, Derek?
You mentioned dates for this fall. How often do you run? So at the moment, we're selling out with a spring and fall course. So we're kind of playing it by ear. It's been very good for us. We'll see if that starts to change, but right now it's every April and September, April, May, and September. So I expect that, typically the September one will sell out in August, and then we'll start filling seats for next April. And I should also mention that, Rotmans and ourselves, we refine the material when necessary. For our very first cohort, didn't have a huge cyber focus. The second and third one, we added a good cyber focus, and the fourth one, as John mentioned, we're gonna talk about relevant topics with our students, such as transformational leadership via AI. So we're constantly looking at making sure that this is relevant and not stale.
Yeah, and I'm going to add in a little bit more about leading change as well, because it becomes an important part of every IT professional's life, whether you're ready for it or not. So we'll take our change expertise and transform it package it in a way that everybody can make use of it. Yeah.
I would like to say as well, Derek, that if any of you has any questions related to the course or anything, as an attendee, please reach to me via LinkedIn. Send me a message and connect with me. I'm more than happy to answer anything. Trust me, I don't get paid. I was joking before the meeting that I don't know why I put myself in these positions always, that when they ask me, can you do this? I say, yeah. And then I'm thinking, I shouldn't have said yes. But anyway, I'm here.
I think that's an important side benefit of both the CIO Association and this designation is we find a lot of our platform, our association could be a good platform when you're trying to sort of elevate your personal brand and your presence. So Ronald came to our peer forum and he participated in a panel on AI. And so we can be not just a good community to get yourself involved in elevating your brand and your, with our platform. But also we have different scenarios to sort of facilitate that and opportunities to facilitate that. So I think, Ronald, you're a good example of that. Any
Yeah,
other
Ronald,
questions?
just send the invoice to me. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I know.
Okay. So if there are no further questions, so are there any last minute questions in the audience? No? Okay. So again, thank you everyone so much for joining us today and for your time and attention. We will be sending out a follow-up email and we'll provide you some more information about registering for the program in September. And we're also happy to share the recording of the session. If you would like to re-watch, please have any questions, anything that you would like to talk about, please give us a call. Carolyn, Jessica, myself, Connor, we're all here to support you in your journey. And we look forward to seeing you at the next executive leadership program. So thank you all.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Ron. Thank you, John.
Have a great
Thanks, everyone, for
afternoon
attending.
or
Have a good afternoon.
Thank you,
Thanks for
Connor.
your time today.